What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Trey Jones. Today we're going to be talking about 10 signs you are recovering from anxiety. Go ahead and smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. Leave me a comment down there as well. I'll be picking 2 people for a shout out in next video. Must be subscribed, must leave a comment. I got 2 shout outs today, Tara King and Christy Castro. Thank you guys so much for being proactive in my last video and for leaving a comment. Thank you guys and keep watching. I appreciate it. So guys, recovery, it's a beautiful place to be. It's not perfect. There's no timetable on it. I get this all the time. How long is it going to take me? How long? You're focused on the wrong thing. Stop focusing on time. All right. Time is the reason many people don't recover, because they're not patient. They don't realize how much effort and how much time it takes to rewire your subconscious mind. Okay. So stop focusing on the time and focus on the day. It's much like an addiction. One day at a time. One day at a time. Stop getting overwhelmed by thinking of the future. All right. A lot of people that deal with anxiety spend their time in the past or what? The future. Let's take it one day at a time. Let's live in the present. Let's do what we can do today. Important thing to remember. Guys, remember, if you're interested in anxiety coaching one-on-one with me to help you with this process, go in depth, give you more strategy personalized to your needs, email is down below in the description, guys, and in the first pinned comment. Great things are happening. Be a part of that, all right? Something I'll offer. So guys, I want to jump right into this. The first one, guys, is you have more good days than bad. This is one of my first indicators, okay? Whenever I was like, I'm recovering now. Wow. I went from having anxiety and panic attacks every single freaking day to maybe 2-3 days a week, all right? So I'm having like 4 days of no anxiety symptoms. And I'm not saying no anxiety. I wasn't recovered, right? My subconscious still needed work, right? But it wasn't sending as many signals to my body to cause symptoms. Also, my outside stressors were not really having much of an effect on me, at least most of the time. So that's a good indicator right off the bat. You're having more good days than bad. So again, recovery is not a bad place to be in, okay? The next one, guys, number 2, your anxiety or panic attacks are shorter and less intense. So anxiety attacks, just a lesser version of a panic attack. Okay, so if they are starting to become shorter, they're becoming less intense, it means that maybe you have more control over them, all right? You're getting more control over your mind. You're able to settle yourself down, to calm yourself down, to focus on your breathing. Maybe you've figured out some tips and tricks to make them shorter. Good for you. This is something else for me. One of my first goals in recovery was to just get rid of panic attacks. Okay, so getting them to be shorter in duration, going from an hour to 3-hour long panic attacks. Hell, my first panic attack was 6 hours. So if I could get them to like 5 to 10 to 15 minutes, man, that was a score, you know, which sucks because that's like the average panic attack for most humans is like 5 to 15 minutes. And I was just trying to get it down to that because mine were so long, but I felt successful when I did that, and it gave me confidence. I was like, oh my God, I can do this. So I rolled with that. You see how the momentum is so important with recovery. So they were less intense and they were shorter in duration. And that's because I wasn't fearing them the same way. It went from me thinking that these were heart attacks to me being like, these are just panic attacks, all right? My body feels like it's in trouble, it's trying to protect me, and I'm going into survival mode. So really having an education and understanding why these things are happening really helped me a lot. The next one, your appetite goes back to normal. Now, I wasn't one who just lost my appetite all the time. I was more of a comfort eater, so I was actually binge eating. So I would eat a crap load of food in the evening time, but I know many of you just lose your appetite altogether. So if you're starting to get back to normal, that means that you're in a better mood, you're happier, your subconscious isn't as troubled. We all know how it is whenever you're deeply, deeply troubled. For most people, you are not hungry. I can remember when there was deaths in the family and everybody's coming together bringing food, I'm just not hungry because I'm grieving. Or if I was in a horrible breakup, okay? For whatever reason with anxiety, I wouldn't eat during the day, and then at night I would binge eat late at night. Not a good habit. It really irritated my anxiety. So whenever I started to notice that I wasn't turning to food to slam down my throat and to comfort me for my anxiety, maybe things were getting better. The next one, guys, excuse me. Your Googling and self-checking has disappeared. Yeah, that's a good start, right? If you wanted to recover. 20 to 30% of my anxiety just disappeared when I stopped Googling. Some of you can turn this thing around simply by not getting on the internet and Googling and triggering yourself. All right, self-checking, checking your blood pressure, your heart rate, looking for lumps and bumps, scrapes, bruises, whatever you're looking for. All right, stop doing it. It's just gonna hold you back. It is impossible to recover if you're focused on your symptoms, if you're Googling your symptoms, you're trying to play doctor, and doing nothing but self-checking your vitals. Your vitals are going to be high if you have anxiety, so stop checking it. If you've been told by a doctor that you're fine, you have to move on with that, trust those results. They're professionals, we are not. The next one, guys, you are getting better sleep. This is another one, a big one that showed me maybe things are getting better because, guys, I would miss 1 to 2 to almost 3 days of sleep at a time, then maybe get a day of sleep and then start the whole process over. And the only reason I would get a day of sleep is because my body just completely crashed and I had to have it. And just at some point you have to fall asleep. So eventually I would get my sleep. But I would keep going through this cycle. I had horrible insomnia associated with my anxiety. So whenever I was sleeping pretty much 6 to 7 to 8 hours every single night, I was like, okay, I've got, I'm at least at peace at night. So my subconscious mind is kind of settling down and trying to relax a little bit whenever it's nighttime and whenever it's time to go to bed, normal sleeping hours. So that was another sign. So, if you're not there yet, keep working at it. Remember, an evening routine is what you need to help you with better sleep. And I have a video on that, so check that out. It's the best nightly routine for anxiety and insomnia. The next one, guys, when you can get through certain triggers. Now, I'm not talking about you can go out and get hammered and drunk and the next day you're not anxious, okay? Those are the triggers you want to avoid, right? But there's some triggers you can't, like driving, heights, being on a plane, seeing articles that say some such and such had a heart attack or such was diagnosed with cancer, or you see a TV commercial or an ad, or you hear something on the radio and you're not turning it off. Whenever you're actually able to get through things, and your anxiety not be completely a nightmare, okay? But you're actually trying and you can see that you can actually get through it, that's a sign of recovery, okay? Some of you just leaving the house, okay? You're taking a stand, you're like, I'm not gonna let anxiety shut down my life. That's a sign of recovery. You're not backing down, you're gonna get through this regardless. Some of you going to the grocery store, being in crowds, talking to other people, social settings. When you can actually get through those things, regardless of them triggering you, it shows your commitment to the process. Could be a sign that you are starting to enter recovery mode. So congratulations if you're doing that. That is so huge. It takes a lot of bravery and courage, okay? Keep doing that. The next one, motivation is easier to come by. By now, many of you have noticed that it's hard to get motivated when you have anxiety or depression. Part of that is because you are always seeking external motivation, whether that be articles, feel-good stories, videos. How many of you have watched an inspirational video and be like, yes, that is me. Yes, I got this. You think everything just rewired. 2 days later, you don't even remember the feeling that you had when you watched that video. For me, I would just binge watch these motivational videos. And before you knew it, I'd been sitting in my boxers watching videos on the laptop all day and hadn't done a damn thing. So external motivation only goes so far. You have to learn how to motivate yourself, self-motivate. So if you're able to start doing that, push yourself through, show a lot more self-love and self-care and self-awareness, guys, that's a foot in the right direction, all right? So it means that you're more motivated, it means you're happier, you're starting to see results and build confidence off of that. The next one, guys, when your patience returns, when you can actually sit through a long line and not be overwhelmed because it's taking too long, when you have more patience with your children or your friends or your family, just patience in general, that means that you're starting to grasp that even with your own recovery, it takes more time. So now that you know that you can get through this, even though it takes a while, it means that your patience is returning. It means that you are translating that to other areas of your life. So you're basically using your recovery as an example to be patient in other areas, if that makes any sense. The next thing, guys, when you find yourself smiling and laughing more, obviously this means that maybe some of your happiness is coming back, okay? Maybe some of your positivity is returning, all right? The beautiful side of you. Keep doing that, all right? And last but not least, when you actually start to forget that you have it, okay? Whenever you've been 2, 3, 4 weeks without anxiety or a panic attack, and through some of that, you just completely forget that you have it. Whereas before, in the past, every single day, you were reminded by your symptoms, but even whenever you had some good moments, it was like, oh yeah, I have anxiety, It's like I shouldn't be happy right now, even though I'm not having symptoms. I'm miserable, right? But whenever you actually string a few good days together, maybe even a few weeks, and then hopefully months, you're gonna kind of start to forget that this is something that controlled you for so long, or something that you still technically are dealing with. because you're having so many good days. And like I said, recovery is a great place to be. Trust me, you can go into recovery and you can go all the way back to where you started. I'm not saying that that's not possible either, but recovery means that you have momentum on your side. And I want you guys to keep pushing that snowball down the hill. That momentum will build up and you'll be hard to stop, hard to defeat. So guys, I hope you got something out of this video. Remember, if you're interested in anxiety coaching, be sure to hit me up via email, cullentreyjones@yahoo.com. It's down in the description and in the first pinned comment. There's other resources down below. Join me on my other social networks, guys. The Facebook groups are down below. Join those communities. Just started a health, anxiety, support, and recovery group on Facebook. Join that. The link will be down in the description. Also, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, all of that is down below. Follow me on BitChute as well. It's the second platform for my videos, just in case something happens with YouTube or my YouTube channel, for instance. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell so you get updates when I put these videos out. Like this video if you got value. Remember to leave a comment because I will be giving 2 people a shout out. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. All right, I love you guys. Keep fighting. Keep your heads up.